one, go.
Hello, Warriors. It's 11:01 EST. Mike and me are going to bat the ball around under a new administration. We had action right away before President Trump was inaugurated. First, they came out, said they were going light, no tariffs right away. That lasted 24 hours, but it accelerated the dollar decline yesterday. And even though they're slapping the tariffs on Canada and Mexico, it doesn't seem to have changed the trend of the dollar. So the top at 110, we had sells in TradeGATEHub posted many times going into this zone. Even had a sell last night in the Dixie, had a buy in Aussie when it was 60 lower. It's coming back. All the currencies are coming back. So here's the way I'm going to be trading currencies for a while. So I'm a believer that the trend has shifted in the dollar. I think eventually we're going to head down to 105. All we have to do is take out this 200-day moving average on the 4 hour. And what I'm going to do is every time there's news about tariffs and the dollar rallies on that, I'm going to use tariff news to be a seller of strength in the dollar going forward. Okay, so now we know what's going to create the corrections in the dollar. I'm all wet if, the Dixie's trading 111, 112. But as long as we're not closing back over 109, there's a pretty big possibility of a turning point. And the reason I've been focused on this is that I think it's going to be a big one. I think we could compare it to what happened back here. All right. So when I'm tweeting and saying you're not late, were you late if you didn't get short the dollar for a month here? No, you weren't late. Right? You're going to be late because you didn't sell the top because you thought I was crazy to even attempt it with 85% bulls. No one agreeing with it.
Sure.
You're still not late. Okay. I mean, if we're going to have a 1,400 point decline from here, I'm looking for 96, 95. Panic will start under 100. Anyway, learned a lot in the last 24 hours of how I'm going to approach the announcement of tariff news going forward. That's a pretty important thing, especially if it continues to work and we could fade dollar strength on tariff news. One day it'll be too much, right? It'll be too much, and the dollar will rally and keep going. But that's when things break, and we're not there yet. So, Mike, the dollar, if you get the dollar right, you can usually get everything else right. That's why I focus on it. Strong dollar is, usually not good for asset prices, although it's not always the case. A weak dollar should be good, especially for commodities, and should be a tailwind for certain sectors. What I want to ask you is last week we started talking about rotation, and you spotted a lot of option sweeps going into the ag space. And the reason I bring it up is because we're getting some pretty nice continuation moves in the grains. I think that wheat has broken out. Here you go. So that's a weekly, and here you're not late if you didn't buy the bottom here either. Here's a 4 hour shows the breakout. Okay, we've been basing forever. It's worn every bull out, including me. Okay, yeah, yeah. The wheat is bottomed. The wheat is bottomed. The wheat is bottomed. The wheat is bottom. Okay, stock up on your Wheaties now. Also, beans are acting great. Buy pullbacks and grains. Later on in the year, I'll teach you about how to buy the breaks and grains when it rains. When it rains, we'll be buying rain breaks this summer. So, Mike, anything happening in those ag stocks with this action that we're seeing in the grains? They look like they've all bottomed. It's going to be hard to get food prices down for Americans with a bull market in grains. So, what are you
Okay.
looking at?
I'm going to tell you, this is why I'm not participating. I lost all my layouts.
I'm going to give you, do you want the charts?
I lost all my layouts. I'm not
Oh,
kidding. No, you show my screen. Look, I'm
your
showing
screen
you.
is blank?
Yeah, look, share the screen.
All right. Did you have a power outage? Because California, I think the whole state's going to burn down. Well, yeah, just showing some positions. Wow. So you have to
Trust me.
reload?
I've been doing this thing. Listen, action, Lou. I'm telling you, I don't want to waste everybody's time. I lost my layouts. Believe me, we could do a lot better things to watch me fumble around.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, yeah, look,
okay.
this is
So let me ask.
that's show business. Okay. So go ahead, bro.
All right, sorry. So I'll go back to you, coach, and I'll answer your questions and talk about some things that I'm doing. You have the chart. Let me go back to you. Oh, you know what? Let me do a couple of things in TGH here. And I won't be egotistical with my positions, if you will. The one thing I would implore everybody to, and it's no surprise, I hope none of your own, coach, because being an active member here, go to last night's video, which I prepared for the week, and watch how I set things up. See, there's the picture right here of me scrolling through more macro situations, whether it's economic calendar, upgrades, downgrades, charts, what we're looking at. And one of them, then I said, and I'll go back to you, coach, is what? Which one? 3M,
Yeah,
Minnesota.
you've been long that one forever.
So uh, let me get back if you missed them, because you always have to go over the fundamentals. It's why I use the cheap analogy, if you will, of everybody, a 7 foot basketball player lining up for 20 minutes doing a layup. It's literally from here to there, just to get the muscle. You know what I'm talking about, coach. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I want to get back into playing too, and show you the trades and coach and I articulate. But people practice 80 hours a week to play a 1 hour game. More than that, if you consider a lifestyle. I digress. Okay. Coach, thank you for posting. There was the yield right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
This is a
stop.
big deal about the dollar. Be careful what you want.
No, I don't appreciate
We're
that. The bottom line is what I always say is that regardless of our call, and we're right more than we're wrong, the last thing that you're going to do is be short of an idea or what's moving or what's going on. And if not all the financial instruments across the board, if not, we have a lot of people that can. You too, Mick. Come on, it's a tough game. Bottom line, stocks performing well. This is we want. I've been using this analogy again. Okay, you want to fish where the fish are. This is the pond. This is where the fish are. Okay, it's up to you. The timing. These stocks have range. They have volume. Sometimes it's the difference of winning a fishing tournament. You can have catch on 10 sharks on average of however. Somebody might have 12. You still have a nice bounty. It's a matter of timing.
I'm
Everybody's
surprised.
changing.
I'm kind of surprised Coinbase is up this much. Is it news related? Because I'm seeing Bitcoin fade pretty good.
Well, that was
Um,
yesterday, by the way.
oh, yes.
This was
Okay,
the Monday
got it.
morning. This was the proverbial
I got
Sunday
it.
evening. But this is
Okay.
okay. By the way, you just made our point valid. Whether or not coin is up or down today, this is what they're doing. Actually, coin is having quite a poor day. Once again, that's where the fish are. I'm not saying you had to,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're fishing, you have the choice when you catch a fish to throw it back
all right.
or kill it and have dinner.
I wish I had that
So yeah.
when I met my wife the first night, but I didn't.
So anyway,
That didn't happen.
so I mean, knowing where the fish is doesn't mean that you're going to buy it. You may want to have it for dinner and eat it up. So, fishing is a two-way street too.
Yeah, it is.
I do
Not to
throw
be
them. I have thrown them back. I'm just too much of a humanitarian.
I maybe fished maybe 3 to 5. Again, I'm literally looking at the Hudson River. Literally,
Yeah.
not to say this is 20 foot
Yeah.
makos flying by, but I just don't. You're sitting there waiting for something else to happen.
You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at another wildfire that is only about 15 miles away from where I live now. So, I'm telling you, Mike, just a little off, I am on edge. I've had power shutdowns to prevent, lines going down, and everyone's seen what's happened in LA. I've lived in California a while. I've never seen these kind of winds. They're called Santa Ana winds, the
No,
devil
believe me,
winds.
unfortunately, now I'm educated. Please go ahead.
They never happen like this
Yeah,
time of year.
perfect storm.
It happens in the fall, not in the winter.
We're getting ready.
Anyway, that's it. So I'm trading and I'm watching California burn at the
No,
same time.
I'm listening. People know us, we do 3 videos a day and for
Uh,
hours, if you will.
uh,
So
uh,
not to minimize what's
I
going
have a stop
on.
in. I have bags packed. So that's
You
my
really?
stop here.
What's going to be the what's going to be the catalyst? When are you going to say when? What's
I don't know. Say like across the street.
across the street? All right. Have
Yeah,
the
if I
car
see
pointed,
fire across,
then have the car
it might.
pointed the other way.
Anyway, what's
But,
it?
but,
Okay,
but,
so I'm
but
sorry I
do
interrupted
you
you.
think okay, first of all, now that the VIX is where it is and it's abated still after the second day or the first trading day of of the golden age of the presidency, you have the aforementioned macro headwinds, if you want, or whatever it may be, happening. So now I think that, as some of these stocks, and I'll get specifically, actually, I can't get into my screen as I turn it over to you. I can't believe my screen's down. Reality, and I digress.
All right, did you want to talk about the Bank of Japan? You stopped on that.
Is there any credence to that, you think?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. TGH people were, got the call near the high
Yeah.
to short U.S. dollar yen, and there it could be like I think they're going to go ahead, but I think it's going to be a sell the rumor buy the fact. But I just like I will buy dips in the sell rallies in the dollar, I'll sell rallies in U.S. dollar yen back at about 157. So it hasn't gotten there yet. The dollar gave me another entry last night. There's all kinds of entries. Mike, I want to ask you, you ever look at a chart and ask yourself, where are the stops?
Yeah, absolutely. No,
Uh,
absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, the whole number. When I used to
yeah,
be a day trader, anything that hits like 80, I always used to offer out like 10,000, 80 and a quarter, talking
yeah,
quarters.
yeah,
Yeah, of
big
course
round
it
numbers.
triggers that.
Yeah.
It does that now when their stocks are breaking. I can point out a couple again that are doing that now, that stops trigger and they say that's it. And by the way, with the VIX this low and the board being still selective or rotational, people let the stops go. There's always something to run to. It's not like the egregious red board for 5 days down where everybody puts stops in, and it's a different type of stop. Some people just say, all right. And that's what we're seeing that a lot here. I'm not saying things are on sale, but of course I think that way. Absolutely. It's that sentiment driven to me. If Helene, everybody, if the stock hits $96, it's more likely to hit 100.
So,
I don't know the empirical statistic, but
yeah.
I don't know, things like
All
that.
right. So we're not at stretch positioning them. It's pretty neutral according to that
Well, not that's golden.
slide.
Not if you long Apple and you long some Mag Sevens that are doing a little dippity do.
Yep.
Okay, another thing. This is interesting, Coach. You're going to like this, and this might be with the Bitcoin what we talked about last week. Volume control funds sold an estimate of 105 billion equities and this is uh, implied lack of liquidity. Liquidity might die. Be careful of lack of liquidity.
Got it. Well, then the bonds better keep TLT better keep rallying because if they take out that 85 level, there's trouble in River City. That
Keep
won't
that.
help. That won't help liquidity.
Welcome back, Nick. No, I hear you trouble in River City. So, all right, I can go to a couple of things here, but uh, this is again the stocks and the themes. This is what everybody's been buying and what's been hot. Okay, I didn't make it up. It's on 99% of the scanners from Yahoo Finance to anything sophisticated. It's a matter of who gets in first or last. Okay, these are what's happening. And by the way, RKLB is the stock of the day. Some trades are working post Trump inauguration. Some aren't. For example, Tesla last I looked was down 16. DJT, his own moniker symbol, if you will, was down 20%. I saw. Maybe they believe in space. One day is not going to determine the first day if Tesla, it's all over for Tesla and Trump and Musk, that they hit the proverbial relationship high, if you will. Everybody dancing around inauguration. I don't know if that's going to be a thought. I'm not saying it is the thought, price action, Trump sentiment, but space, things are, this is what's, to edify my point, this is what's moving right now, and I'm not alone, okay? You have an opinion, I'll give it. I'm not giving you an opinion.
Food products, China was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Another thing, RKLB. See, okay, RKLB.
You know, that GDX option sweep was a beauty
How
a
about
few weeks
TLT,
ago.
coach? Can I go back to you? Can you go over the TLT and GLD? Because TLT, I'll tell you, there was a page of them and we couldn't understand. I'm not saying that was that proverbial April or March low when we talked about it last time.
Yeah,
I'll give
yeah.
you the screen,
It was right on.
but it was,
Right on.
we don't know. Yeah, please.
I was talking about it, how you told me, where I was going,
Well, I
wherever I
pointed
went.
it. Listen, you ran with the ball. I pointed it out. Not everything I do. I point out I do.
So TLT, here we go. Here's TLT. Okay, right here.
We don't know.
Now, are they still coming in at him? Are they still coming at him?
Yes, they are.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let's go through a couple of things.
Okay, and then you wanted to see GDX, which was another great trade, based upon option sweeps that Mike made us aware of, and it was down here. So nothing wrong with 20% in GDX from when they bought those calls.
Well, how about playing something of relative strength regardless? Relative strength versus the group, the simplest scanners out there. I have one, yes, I don't use it that much. This because it's so AEM. Always
Yeah.
the first look at it. You have it, coach. AEM. You could. Oh, by the way, Newman, we've both been mean reversion type of with that.
Right.
We think
Yeah.
GLD could go down, and that still can continue going up. But
Yeah.
AEM has led it all the way up.
Okay. I don't have it here, but
That's okay.
I know. Okay, but the silver stocks as well. The SILJ is having a pretty good day. They all look like they may have turned. Even this dog, I think there still might be one more shot down for a 3, but pretty good day in SILJ. It's trying to come out of a base. There's AG right to a moving average, so they're threatening.
Coach.
FCM, they're all trying to come out of here.
Know your moderator. I tried not to be as hyped up or exaggerated. Exaggerated is a poor term. I say passionate. Know your guy. You know your desk leader. If I'm cold, fade me. I'll get no problem. I get it. When I say things in TGH, which was an hour and 20 minutes ago, by the way, SLV calls, go to TGH, please, off the effing board. That's just me saying, oh, well, 3M looks good here. I'm taking off 10% of 3M. It's not even that. I'm not, if I'm saying, or they're off
Yes,
the board.
silver looks good. I mean,
They're off the board.
when I went home Friday, I thought we were going to break down. That's not happening. Hard to be short metals if you're bearish a dollar.
Well, how
So,
about coach? Let me answer your question. The longer that trade took not to matriculate, a pro like yourself, what did that tell you?
the way it came in,
You should the flip.
yeah, I didn't flip, but I wasn't short either. It's just
Okay, touche.
I thought I could buy it cheaper. I was looking for a move back down here in silver that could still happen, but not before it has more upside. I was looking for this down to around 28. Okay, and this was Friday before the holiday so I thought maybe we'd go down there, but it doesn't
No,
look like it.
don't get me wrong. It was not like I was lazy. I said, okay, everybody missed it. I got it. It was
No,
I backed it up by the calls. That's why I was in it. That's
yeah. So what strike are they buying out of curiosity?
I'll point out.
SLV.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was too I'll point it after, but I was too I guess worried about cursing to get people instead of what strike it was. But I'll get back to it.
Okay.
I will.
So
and
here's the yen. So just like the dollar, I think this is going to be a big trade to the downside. We could have something like this from here. So I sell rips in yen. Really, the markets I've been trading the best over the past few years are FX.
yeah.
Much better than metals and equities. So
I think that's my detriment to you. I try to maybe I'm a little bit too more convincing to get you into the equity side. But coach, one more thing. Citicorp again. Well, you know what they've been doing? that's turning into a top 10 call. Now, I can't say for this year because it's only how many weeks old, but City or exit. Okay.
Yeah.
That was, I didn't believe it either. I'm not in it.
Yeah.
A lot of that, the majority of the best trade out there, the majority of the ones that work in where the proverbial cleanest, relative strength, volume, calls, correct timing, if you will, risk versus the reward, where the administration, geopolitical played, Citibank and JP Morgan. That's
Yeah.
it.
And I know a lot of people that say, as long as this chart is okay, the market's okay. They use this as a real big indicator for the broader market.
Fine.
That's XBD, broker
Now, what are we
dealer.
going to do with Apple here? I told the only thing that I pointed up here.
You know, it
Wise
pisses me
guys are
off
fine. Okay. Wise guys are
because
playing it. That's fine.
yeah, I mean, I was shorting it all last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, in fact, I was short before the blow off top too. I got out of the way, felt smart. Okay, how about a quick lesson of how your signals or your methodology that you have to stick to can make you miss things sometimes. And Apple is perfect. Apple at the
Oh,
highs,
God.
all right, had this, confirm it was diverging, but there was so much mo up here. I figured we'd get, maybe pull back to the breakout and go again. But wow, this is what could happen to the market. Maybe. I mean, if it could happen to Apple,
Market it
so
won't.
I guess Buffett isn't dumb. So let's leave it here. So anyway, I couldn't short it because I was getting confirmed highs, but on the 4 hour, it was perfect. At the high, look at this. It did diverge. It never blew out the divergence.
That's
So
okay.
but I said to myself, what's more important, the daily or the 4 hour? And I said the daily. So while this was saying sell, I never got the day one more jiggle up in Apple, missed the whole move. 170 is a target for it. There should be some kind of bounce. Would you think the market would explode if Apple bounced? But here's
No. I think that would be bearish if market to a degree.
if Apple bounced.
Yes. It's
Okay.
almost like a big bank. It's interest rate sensitive to a degree. I don't, listen, is that going to be one of my tools to pick, to drive a market the way? No, but
This could be the next victim. The market's made new highs, had that huge rally, and Nvidia, hasn't really recovered from that real bad day it had when their CEO made the speech. I mean, if we get through 140, we'll see. Maybe it can make another run, but we start taking out the lows, these lows here. It's wide open for 120, and then that opens the door for a lot of stuff. So paying attention to that too. So
how about SLB, Schlumberger, one of the better room calls. I don't know if that
yeah,
one,
the oils,
SLB, well, listen, we didn't, I was the only one, and it seemed like it was buying Devon. We talked about it.
yeah.
Didn't want to do it. Probably, but SLB turned out to be a nice macro trade for the fund.
So Trump's talking to Xi. Maybe, I was looking at this earlier in the day, and you were there for this. And then really all we've had in China has been a consolidation of a huge move. It's the same in BABA. Okay, maybe it retraced a little bit more, but we start clearing 90. Just a correction from 36 bucks could take it back to 98 or 100.
The better thing, coach, whether the direction is tradable again, they're getting tradable. So you see these bars you're looking at in the volume, which
Yeah,
listen, maybe you want to start taking them. They're getting tradable again. They have
you're
very little
right.
memory.
Yeah, they're not dots anymore.
No.
Okay, is that what you're saying? That for a while they were just dots. You had to make an appointment to trade them.
How about
Anyway,
hood? You can look at your hood right there. Hood it gives you a chart.
Hood's been blowing.
There it is
Yeah,
right there. Take
you
again.
talked about this a long time ago.
I punted it.
You also talked about shop.
Well,
That's coming
Shop
out of
hasn't
here.
matriculated yet, but a lot of them, snow is when they're taking another Warren Buffett one. Snow I don't know if you have, I don't even have
Oh
snow
no,
on my screen, but
you have snow on the sidewalk.
I do here. I'm in front of
Yeah.
you. You know what it
All
is
right.
right now? Outside? 4 degrees.
All right. D.H. Horton tried to rally. He's giving it all back, even with
And
the
you know what?
bonds.
Lenard tipped the hand. Look at Lenard. I bet you
But
I think opened down. You have to have Lenard, please.
yeah, so I mean that I have Lennar. Yeah, it rallied. Tried just like its rally was weaker.
Well,
Maybe it
that's
could
because
rally again. If the bonds have more left in it with the TLT, maybe we could get Lennar. This was pretty shallow retracement, but if it got back into, you may want to use your marker on this one. 152 to 56 would be a great short
yeah,
if that happened. So
Coach, I got to ask because I haven't looked at it. You know, I was in New York doing some UNG.
yeah,
I had that peg that Friday on that capitulation right at the 50 day. I could have been three.
you
Oh,
could have been a contender.
I
Looks
could have
pretty
coached.
it looks ugly here.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
stocks are acting phenomenal still.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Here's RRC. It's not giving up anything. All right, the animal spirits are running. So let's run with them.
Here's
Yeah,
Mrs.
there's a bull
Here's
flag at
Mrs. Trade
Suncor.
GATEHub right here. She brings a sandwich. Go say, come here. Come here, Miss Trade GATEHub. There she is. Look
Hi,
at
nice to meet you.
Nice
What
to
a
meet you.
life, living large.
that. Yeah, where's the pickle? Sorry. Thanks, Pup. All right,
All
anyway,
right, all right.
that's
Anyway,
you.
I want half of it. Let's
Get out of here.
see.
Big
Yeah,
sandwich.
SU looks good. Goldman giving it up, but look at the momentum is still tremendous. Anyway, that's it. For me, the big story is $1.
You know what, Coach? Yeah, it's getting back to this, the TLT. Now, okay, first of all, I believe everything I believe, which I posted last evening in TGH or the video, if you will, is, Netflix, we have earnings, a lot of earnings. And I believe Netflix earnings coming out, I believe it's tomorrow night or tomorrow night, or I'll get back to it. I'm not even there yet. Is going to be more market moving, or at least has more of a range than any administration or anything that's going on. Period. That's period.
All
So,
right. Yeah.
with the VIX down here and with TLT, there's obviously the VIX is here. It is where it is. So there's
No
aside
fear.
aside
No.
from a jerky
Animal
tariff.
spirits.
Oh,
Yeah.
aside from a jerky tariff move, I get it. Aside from a pop in crude or a couple of commodities, yes, I do get it. Remember they're taking calls. It is what it is. But now we got a lot of earnings coming out of here. Now, now I'm going to look at what Europe closes. Maybe go back to a little bit of basics and take a breath for a second. As we get to 11:30, 12 Eastern. So things like that.
Okay, I'm going to leave it with Bitcoin. You have some divergences developing. They're already on the daily. I am looking for new highs here. Here's a daily, and then I'll get back to see. We made new highs here and reverse. Look, glaring divergence, but we didn't have it on the 4-hour, the opposite of what Apple was. So on the 4-hour, we started to get it on this drive. We didn't confirm. We're going to take out this high. Maybe we trade 116, 120. I'm not saying short it, but I would like compromise with being a hodler and take something off the table at 120 in Bitcoin, because this is a lot of Ellioticians saying a wave 5. So when they bring that up, I start looking for my 3 drive patterns. And one more high will do it. That's when I had my own IB, I'd wrap my shows with this. Those are my calls. The next one's yours. 800-899 bear. That was my 800 number.
I'm looking at your screen there. It looks to seem like a lot of stocks at whole numbers. Amazon 229.50, Apple 220 whole, Meta near the 610, Google 199.90.
Yeah, Google made new highs.
The VIX 1530s. A lot of I don't know what CCJ. All you wanted at the 200 day, they gave it away. I stared at it.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, here's just a quick look. Amazon, not far away from a new high. Apple, maybe we'll get a bear market rally. Here's Meta. I don't know. Look at these wicks. I'm not saying we can't make a new high. Our earnings coming out here, because there is some selling coming in here. That's why you have a wick. It's not because someone made a candle and just left these things. You learn about candlesticks if you're going to trade them.
No, it looks like I said, does it look like a little bit?
Google, there's no one short Google anymore. And you know what? It's near the low of the day and is not confirming. Be careful with Google longs. I'd ring the register. And NVIDIA, I'm just going to see if we take out 140. That's not, maybe we're just going to still have a failing rally. 61.8 back would be 12, about 42 to 44. And that's what I see. And and tomorrow Tommy Thornton's going to be on. He's the founder of hedge fund telemetry. And Tommy's he's got a big rep as a market maven. So I'm looking forward to meeting him and talking to him tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. EST live here on TradeGATEHub.
What time is it?
10:30 EST.
We'll leave it with Mike and me. Have a good day.
All right, Mike.
I'm good with that. That's like me going in for a lead in.
All right.
You like that, right?
Yeah.
I'll be in the room. Cheers. Earnings will be posted, and Coach, the sweeps of what you asked for with SLV will have momentarily. Okay. Thanks, folks. Leading by example. Cheers, guys.
See you guys.
Nice job, Jose.